want to take a minute to try it out? Assume I can.
You're addressing first person in the anecdotes, but I think I'd love to see a little bit more about how they affect or make a difference in Malcolm X's writing. It looks like he jumped right from the devices you noticed to the benefits they have on his theme, but I don't see enough about why his writing style matters. So, but I appreciate your response. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah. So I just have a quick question at the top of the little thing where you are gonna record. It has like dual screen and then webcam. So
you can choose, you can have both. You can record the screen with your picture or your
on
video
the screen.
view.
So if I were to record this right now, it would be this screen, right? So I would presumably go to the student's work like you did.
Yep.
And that would be the dual, right?
So dual will show both the screen and your video.
Me. Okay.
If you want to just show the screen, you just do
but
the
not a
screen.
video, but then would they hear me probably? Okay.
Yep.
And
And then if you, for some reason,
it's
want
just
to just record yourself. you can do
okay,
that
so
too.
yeah, I see. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
So one question there was about workflow, like how do you store all these links? So it directly, when you upload to Google Drive, it puts it directly into a folder in Google Classroom. That's like WeVideo screen and webcam recorder or whatever. And so I'll usually rename my recording. So like if I'm here, I can click down here and rename it whatever I want. So I usually put the student's name and PL number, whatever I'm on, and then I can find it again if I need to. But you know, the students will probably usually find it using the link. Yeah.
And then do you, once you're finished, like you've renamed it, it's already stored, over there on the right-hand side where it says like copy the link, do you just usually throw the Google Drive link into the comments then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Into private comments.
So you have to find the folder and make them all public, right?
You do not. It automatically makes it public. Yeah. So.
How did you like establish them looking at it? Like, did you like, the first one, did you like show them like, hey, this is like how to do it to like kind of get their buy-in so that they do look at it, or?
You know, so there are a couple pitfalls. I didn't want to talk about those, and I think looking at that will answer your question as well. So there aren't, like, any PD, you don't want to go there and be like, oh, this will save everything for you, because it never does, right? So there are a couple things that can go wrong in the pitfalls that, things that I've experienced over the past couple years that caused trouble for me. One is, this year I tried making a different rubric that gave them not the grade that was going to go in the grade book, but like a scale of 1 through 4. And they still try to play that game with like, what's the minimum amount of work I can do to get my grade where I want it to be, you know? So I would not show them the rubric or any type of grade, and any, like, the whole feedback, the only feedback they should get is your comments, because then that's the only thing that they're going to go to. So yeah, so we would say, you know, in class, hey, we have made videos that give you feedback where we read your entire appeal and tell you what to do. Here's where you'll find them. They're in your private comments here. We want you to listen to that video, pause as you go, make corrections, highlight those corrections as you go, and turn this back in so that we can give you a better score. The other thing that might help is our appeals are out of 25 points. I give them 10 points for turning it in. They have to revise to get the extra 15, or whatever is left of the 15, depending on how good their appeal is. You know, so that definitely, if they're going to get a 40% if they don't do it, most of them come around and do it. Okay. The other thing that you have to do, because we know how much homework our students do, you got to give them time in class to revise, unless they're in honors or IB, in which case they do well. But for my students, we give them 15 to 20 minutes a couple of days after appeal once everything's graded, so that they can do that stuff. And then the one other pitfall that we've experienced, Raquel discovered this for me, is that if you use your district Chromebook, it might not have enough memory to
So
hold
you're-
on to the video,
You
so
really
you
need
can
to.
upload it. Yeah, so you gotta use your school laptop, in order to not have to download it all and then upload it again and then change the sharing settings and all that stuff, so, you know.
Is there a way for you to check to see if they have, accessed the video?
That's a good question.
You can go
Okay.
back and play it.
You could probably have them comment back, I watched it. Or like,
Probably. And I will say, I mean, you know, if I think, if the student resubmits it and they haven't made changes that I know I talked about, I can go into their version history and see, okay, what did they really change?
Yeah, and then you guys have done it, so what's been like how effective has it been? Do you
I
feel
think this year, since we had our rubric that we gave back to them, has not been as effective as it was for me last year, when I didn't, release the rubric to them. And if you have a rubric and you like putting your rubric on Google Classroom so it makes copies of them all, you know, if you don't do paper but do digital, there's another tool that I can show you called Doctopus, which will make copies of the rubric but not release them to the students so that they don't have to see it. So if you want to, after this, I can show you.
so when you're saying they don't see the rubric, they don't see what they're gonna be graded on, or they don't see their particular grade on the rubric?
So it's up to how you want to release it. Like, you can always give them the rubric that's not editable by them or you. It's just a copy of the rubric that they can look at. And then the rubric that we use, we set up with Excel to like calculate it all for us when we click the boxes. That we might have in Doctopus, where they can't see it until we release it to them.
3 minutes?
I see. I say like I'd spend less time trying to figure out how to phrase something. Like when I comment, I'm like, okay, how am I gonna phrase this correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like if I'm just talking, it's like I'm talking to the student, so it helps
Right.
when actually then, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it.
It might work well for the book review too, like it's a longer piece, but like, it's a little longer than appeal, but not quite as long as like the essay or the critical review pieces, especially maybe when we're doing like the art, the documentary, like where they need a lot of feedback quickly.
Yeah.
It
Right,
might be interesting to try this.
yeah, maybe I'll try it, I'm having them do a, writing on their essential question for
Yeah.
their lit circle, so they'll start that tomorrow. So maybe I'll try it over Thanksgiving. I'll see how long it takes and if it's feasible.
I noticed too that like when I read it, I'll read it exactly how they wrote it, and then I'm like, okay, didn't that sound a little weird? So then they can actually like hear it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because most people, I always say like, read it out loud before you turn it in, because that'll help you, but of course, they're not gonna do that, so if they hear someone else read it,
It
might be
sound a
helpful.
little
Well,
weird.
they could use the WeVideo tool themselves, and they could read their own and turn in their video of them reading it, or they could also use it as like a peer edit tool.
Oh,
But
that might
students
be
have
helpful.
access to this too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. I like that, maybe they should send a video about how they think they did.
Oh.
With some specific, like I want you to read some, read parts of this that you think are really good and tell me why. Oh my goodness. We're just gonna be spending all sorts of time on WeVideo. I like that.
Someone else asked, do I actually edit the assignment as I'm on the screen there? Sometimes I do, like on the first citation, I might put in the author's last name, and then on the next one say, okay, I fixed the first one for you, make this one follow the same format. Yeah, for each round of appeals, I mean, so somebody asked, how long does it take me to do a round? I guess it always depends on, you know, if I teach freshmen, they turn in fewer than other classes, possibly. But I think there was one day when I was running behind and we were gonna look at the appeals that day, and I did a class period's worth in my off blocks that day. I think it was a double off block, but I was done with the whole class. I'm planning
I would say
to
on
for that
average-
class later in
That's
the
pretty
day.
good.
On average, it takes me like 5 minutes. Or like if it's a really good one, it'll be like 2 to 3 minutes. So it just depends.
Yeah. Or if, I mean, depending on how long it is, I mean, that one
Yeah,
was
that too.
kinda shorter, cause they didn't really have enough analysis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that was 2.5 minutes. And then, I mean, total, maybe 5 in the end after it, like.
Yeah.
5 is the,
Yeah,
is
like-
the very liberal,
When you're done, you've turned it back in and
you
then.
gotta put it, do
Yes.
the rubric,
I'd say 5.
put it in the IEG stuff.
Well, and still, like,
Yeah.
if we compare that to like how long it would take me to give comments, like,
Yeah,
that'd be
Yeah,
shorter.
for sure.
And I feel
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
for me,
well, especially I think I give more comments because
Yeah.
I'm just reading it, I don't have to be like, alright, this is worth, you know, type of thing. So, if there are any other questions, I'll take them now. If you want a document that reviews all these directions, that's at that QR code or at the link underneath that you are welcome to use. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I liked
can
it.
answer.
I think you did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.